Big up, people. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're both well. Listen, I've got to say a big up to Jez, absolute ledge, man. I haven't seen you for ages, brother. Thank you for coming over and joining, and thank you all in the chat. Big up everyone that's come over from Lee Gunner's channel. Lee Gunner, how are you, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've calmed down after the FA Cup loss, but yeah, other than that, I'm all good, man. A bit cold, but
You look it, bruv. You look like this dressing gown is normally on, but come on, man, look at it. It's absolutely. It's like it's Christmas time in the UK, man.
Yeah, I had the fire on yesterday. I was at somebody else's house. I had the fire on, and yeah, my apartment's freezing at the minute. So yeah, dressing gown settings for the foreseeable. Hopefully next month it gets a bit warmer in the evenings.
Yeah, man. Listen, big up for coming on, man. It feels like it's been a while. I haven't been too well, Lee. I can't lie to you. I've had a bit of the old flu, and I'm trying to get over it, but I just can't. I'm looking forward to my holiday. I've only got a few days, and then I'm off for 2 weeks. So I'm going to go and enjoy some sunshine. I'm going to Sri Lanka and the Maldives with the parents, mate.
So, don't. Oh, gel, man.
I know. I'm in the mud, though, mate. I'm in the mud because
you're a flip-flop as well. So make sure you take your flip-flops. Make sure you take them with you, mate.
I will. I'll be getting my flip-flops out, mate. Trust me, while I'm on the beach in the mud on the Maldives. Mate, things are going well. And we link with Caicedo. It looks like the transfer window is hotting up. I wanted to ask you a few questions about that, of course. Looks like Enzo Fernandez is on his way to Chelsea for only £120 million. Cool, cheapskates, aren't they, Chelsea? And we want to talk a little bit about the FA Cup at the weekend as well, which, of course, is very frustrating. In fact, let's start with that because the transfer window is something we're going to be probably finishing on. Everyone wants us to talk about, but I don't think we should forget that there was some football over the weekend. And, of course, Arsenal lost to Manchester City. Let me tell you where I stand, and then I'll get your opinion. I was getting abused on Twitter for dare questioning making 7 changes against Manchester City after having 8 days until we play Everton. It was the wrong thing. It was how dare I criticise the team. The manager knows best. Okay, fair play. All I did was question why we were so scared to go with a full strength side in a competition that I believe is prestige. It is absolutely prestige, and for me, beautiful memories. I love the FA Cup, Lee. I've seen us win it 8 times. And for me, it would have been a lovely, lovely trip to Wembley. And when we got Man City, I thought, frustrating, but at least we'll go strong and give them a good game. We gave them a good game, to be fair. We didn't go strong. And it frustrates the hell out of me why we didn't. Because for me, I know it was only Vieira, Holding, Turner, and obviously our fullbacks, which I wasn't too annoyed about. I was happy that Trossard got in ahead of Martinelli because, to be fair, Martinelli hasn't been absolutely banging it and killing it in the last couple of games. But it frustrated me that we went with Holding and we went with Vieira, and it seemed that all of a sudden the team lineups deflated us a little bit. Now, I look at what Manchester City did with their first team, and they didn't look that great. If I'm honest with you, they were there for the taking. We could have gone through and put ourselves favourites to win that competition. And instead, for what I believe is the 3rd year running, we've not taken that competition seriously. And we've not taken the other domestic cup seriously, the League Cup, because we did exactly the same thing against a good Brighton side at home at the Emirates. We've gone out of both. Now, some people will say, stop moaning, stop being negative. You're top of the league. You're favourites to win the Europa League. Yeah, we are. But actually, I want to win trophies. Otherwise, what's the point of just taking part in them and all this? So I see some of the Gooners saying that this is unbelievably good news that we're out of the FA Cup and we're out of the League Cup as well. So it's all get yourself out of everything. Let's just go for the league. So I wanted to ask you, am I being negative? Am I being toxic? Am I deluded that we're out of the FA Cup and I'm disappointed? Or should I be happy that we're out of the Cup? What do you sit with this one, Gunnar?
Well, I've never seen a fan base so excited to get knocked out of a cup competition, Dan, if I'm being honest. Yes, we're out. We got knocked out. Yes, we're happy we lost. Okay, cool. Well, he better go and win something this season. Otherwise, the season's been a failure then. Because if we don't win the Europa League and we don't win the league, then that's deemed as failure, right? Especially when the same set of fans spent all summer convincing everybody that we're going for top 4 and Europa League. So if we don't win the Europa League and we don't win the league, that's a failure then, based on their words in the summer. Because 4 of our first team squad, Dan, came out in the summer. Smith Rowe, Xhaka, Ramsdale, and Martin Odegaard, our club captain, all sat there on pre-season and said top 4 in the Europa League. All 4 of them. Yeah, and that was then taken into the fan base. The majority of our fans on social media were saying exactly the same. That was then the narrative. We have to get top 4 and the Europa League. I don't know why people seem to think we're just going to walk the Europa League. We've got no real history and tradition in Europe, really. And we got knocked out to a previous manager once upon a time with Villarreal. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back that day until we then won our next game and it was all swept under the carpet again. The fact that we're sat top of the table should not be a reason as to why we should throw cups away, Dan. You know, that shows a lack of mentality. It shows a loser mentality, if anything. That yes, we haven't got the best squad, cool, but when we've got Man United on a Sunday afternoon, then our next game is Manchester City on a Friday night, and then 8 days later on a Saturday early kickoff, we have Everton. Why can't we play our best team? And then all you hear is, oh, but if we had put our best 11 out and got injuries, you'd all be moaning. Well, how do you know we didn't do it? Like, come on, we didn't do it. I wouldn't be moaning if we got through to the next round of the FA Cup and drew Wrexham or Sheffield United, you know, or somebody like that. Would you? Because I wouldn't be. Right. And if we can't compete for the FA Cup and the league, how is anyone expecting us to compete for the league and Europa League when the teams in the Europa League are a lot better than the teams that are in the FA Cup? The argument makes no sense whatsoever, Dan. It really don't. Yeah. And it's just another excuse used by a majority of this fan base to just dismiss and brush under the carpet anything bad because we have to keep the positivity because we're top. And I'll take you back to last season. Real Madrid was at 10 out of 10, 10 wins, 10 out of 10. They'd broken a record in La Liga for the most goals scored in the first 10 games ever of a La Liga season, with a manager, by the way, that we were told was washed up. But they then lost to FC Sheriff in the Champions League, which they eventually got out the group and won anyway. And the Real Madrid fans were jeering, booing, throwing coins, waving the white handkerchiefs, jeering the players, screaming abuse at the manager and the players. Well, they were sat top of the league as well. So what were they? Negative, toxic? Didn't see any of their fans laughing and joy. We don't matter. We're top of the league. We've got bigger fish to fry. Like, at the end of the day, the mentality within our fan base is in the gutter at times. It really is. The same very FA Cup. We're the kings of the FA Cup. We've won it 14 times. So when we win it, it's a great competition, fantastic, super smashing, great. But when we're sat currently top of the table and we get knocked out of it, it don't matter. We've got bigger fish to fry. Well, last year, Dan, we heard that after we lost 1-0 to Graben's goal at Nottingham Forest. Don't matter. Got bigger fish to fry, mate. Well, what was that fish then? Was it a stickleback? Because we finished 5th. Yeah. Well, what was the bigger fish to finish 4th? Yeah. Yes, I understand we're trying to win a title. Cool. Fantastic. And I've enjoyed every single bit of it so far. Apart from the Man United defeat, where I thought the manager completely got it wrong with his substitutes. Other than that, I've been happy with what I'm watching this season. Players are stepping up. The manager's overachieved with where we are in the table with the squad. Include like the bench more than the first 11 because the first 11's decent, but that's even more reason to play the first 11. And then when you add in Trossard, when you add in Kivior, when you're bidding 80 million, 70 million, whatever it is for Caicedo, who, by the way, we both sat on a show and said after the transfer window shut, very disappointed with the transfer window. We didn't get the striker we needed. We didn't get the winger we needed. We didn't get the DM we needed. Maybe needed a centre back as well. And everyone was handing out 7 and 8s out of 10. Now, fast forwards getting kicked out of the cup. Well, we ain't got the squad, mate. Well, why were you all handing out 8s, 9s, and 10s out of 10 in the summer window then? It makes no sense to me. Since when have Arsenal been in this magical, prestigious position to pick and choose what club competitions we decide to go and enter and try and win? It's not like we win a trophy every year, Dan. We've won 4 in 16 years since we moved to the Emirates. So I think it's extremely disappointing we're out the cup. It's a cup that I've seen, you've said 8 times. I've seen us win 1 more. I've seen us win it 9. I've been at some of them cup finals. I've seen us lose cup final in Cardiff, and I've seen us win cup finals at Wembley. Yeah, and at the end of the day, if we don't go on and get this bigger fish, as they keep saying, and we don't win anything this season, I'm sorry, that's failure. Yeah, because if the aim for most of these people, which it was win the Europa League and get in the top 4, what will the excuse be if we only get top 4 by finishing 2nd, 3rd, or 4th and not winning anything? Because based on their words in the summer, we had to win the Europa League and get in the top 4. So I don't know how we can throw a cup competition away, especially when it's a cup that we've won more than anyone. And we've got no history really other than 2 trophies in Europe in our history. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And listen, I hope we do go and win the title. I do actually think we have a great chance of doing it. Yeah, but at the same time, when you've got a game 8 days later, why can't you field your best 11? Because we'll probably see when the draw's done. I don't even know when the draw is done, but when the draw's done, I guarantee Man City get an easy team, and that could have been us. Yeah, and then we could field a different team in that. By playing Rob Holding, the goalkeeper I thought was man of the match, by the way. Tomiyasu was shocking defensively for that goal. I don't know why he's trying to do the salsa with Jack Grealish. Bukayo Saka was just standing there watching it. And then Sambi Lokonga didn't even sniff the danger when the ball hit the post and bounced out. Sorry, mate. It wasn't good enough. And people are trying to take a moral victory out of it that we didn't get battered. Well, no, they were there for the taking. And then people are trying to flip it and say, yeah, but when they come to the Emirates, I'm telling you right now, they ain't playing like that again. They were in cruise control, second gear. Yeah, they did just enough to get through, Man City. They took their chance when it came. Yeah, and from an unlikely source, who I thought marked Saka out the game comfortably, and then he popped up with a winner. But at the same time, they were in second gear, Dan, and they were just chilling. They were cruise control. That ain't going to be the case when they come to the Emirates, and I hope we are not in. And people said, "Oh, we had a great game. We had 2 shots on target. One was Tomiyasu in the first 5 minutes, and one was Trossard about 5 minutes later. Other than that, where was the goal for it?"
Listen, I think I hear what you're saying, and I think you're talking a lot of facts. I actually thought that the goal we conceded was shambolic, if I'm honest, and it wasn't even the fact that Nathan Ake come in with a bit of skill from Grealish and tapped it in. It was actually before that I was frustrated with. I mean, one, why are we letting him shoot from that distance, and why is no one closing him down? You've got Lokonga, who I don't know what he's doing. Is he jockeying? Is he jumping up and down, ready to get in the boxing ring? No idea what he's doing. I actually thought Tomiyasu and Tierney played all right. I thought Tierney absolutely pocketed Mahrez, by the way. I know he won't get a lot of credit because everyone seems to not like him now because we've got Zinchenko.
Yeah, it's fashionable not to like him, isn't it?
Very bizarre for me, but there we go. Apparently, we've got to get rid of him, and he's got to go. Very bizarre, but yeah, I love the kid, and I love everything about his latest interview when he's come out and bigged himself up. He's so professional. The mentality of this kid is what I want to be seeing. So, but I don't need to go into that because I've bigged him up enough, and everyone on the channel knows I love him. So frustrating for me, Lee, because I felt like they were there for the taking, and I would have gone with a strong side. I would have. Facts. I agree with everything that you've said. And the FA Cup, it is 9 times. I've just counted them up. It is 9 that I've seen as well, from 98 to 2020. So it is 9 that I've seen as well. Listen, I get really frustrated when I hear from Arsenal fans that this is a really good piece of news. It should never be good to go out of a trophy, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know what sort of football you've been watching, but when you go out of a competition, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. That's just my opinion, though, clearly. Let's talk about the transfer window, mate, because obviously Caicedo is the guy that you and I have definitely talked about before in wanting. Where do you stand on this with Moses Quesado? Is this, oh my God, we shouldn't be spending 85 million on a player? Or are you, let's just get this guy in and go and win that title? Where do you stand on this one, bruv?
You've got to laugh at the accountants within this fan base, didn't you, Dan? It's not their money. Yeah, they've been crying out for years that we can't compete with Chelsea and City and teams like that. And then when we start trying to show we can compete, all of a sudden we shouldn't be spending. Dan, the only reason people are saying we shouldn't be spending that sort of money is to lower the standards again, because then if we spend 90 million quid on a player, all of a sudden the pressure is now on. Yeah, and we can't have pressure burst pipes, mate. Yeah, so it's a case of, oh no, we're doing it the right way, the classy way. Well, the classy way ain't worked for 20 years nearly. Yeah, I couldn't care less how much Moises Caicedo costs. I couldn't care less if he's, I don't know, 2 billion quid. If we need a player in that position, which we do, which can also play in Granit Xhaka's position, so it kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because if either of them get injured, where's the replacement on the bench? Sambi Lokonga ain't it, El Nenny's injured, Smith Rowe's injured, and Vieira, well, I think Kenny Ken needs to take him to the gym. Yeah, because none of them can play adequately enough to keep the levels up. So we needed that player in the summer, or a player of that ilk. It ain't my money. We're starting to act like a big club. we're signing players in the January window, which everyone kept telling me was hard work. Well, it ain't. I've been telling you for years, if you pay the money, you get the player. And Chelsea ain't made it look hard work. Why? Because they're paying the money and they're paying over the odds for players as well. If you need something that badly for your squad, for you to potentially go and win the first trophy title for 19 years, why do you care how much money it costs? Yeah, come the summertime, yeah, when we're sat here jumping up and down like idiots because we've won the league and we're walking around with our chest popped out, mouth into everyone, yeah, what? Champions, mate. Champions, mate. Do you think you care about 90 million or 80 million? You don't, do you? Like the amount of, but after years and years and years of these little accountants sitting there saying, oh, but they bought the league. They just don't want to do the same. They have to save face down. It's embarrassing. At the end of the day, it ain't your money. So who cares? We need that player, yeah, or a Declan Rice, or a Zubamendi, or an Anana. For me personally, out of all four of them that we've been linked to in the last couple of weeks, Caicedo ticks all the boxes, every single one of them. Yeah, he's the best of the lot. So why not go and get him? And if Brighton are saying, no, we're not selling him, okay, go back with one more bid, slap 90 million quid on the table and test them. Yeah, and if you can't get him and they still refuse point blank to sell him, you better have a backup plan. That's why you're getting paid millions. Yeah, Arteta's got us to the top of the table. The Cronkies have backed it, done over 400 million quid since Arteta's been here, so we can't blame the owner. Yeah, we can't blame the manager. This is on Edu. We've got the money. Yeah, this is on Edu and the team and negotiators and the money men, whoever, and Vinay. Let's not forget Vinay, but I said this earlier on the early stream I did today. Yeah, our CEO, Ivan Gazidis, used to get dogs abuse. Why does this guy get away with everything? Why is he never mentioned in conversations?
Do you know why it is? Because nobody knows what he does. Exactly. That's why he gets away with it. Because no one knows what he is. This is the problem. Like Richard Garlick, to be fair to him, has come in and there's been some good deals while he's been about. But Edu and Vinay seem to get away with a lot, to be fair. And Vinay and Venkatesham, I have no idea what he does. The only thing he
makes Edu's tea, mate, and coffee. That's all he does. He makes Edu's tea and coffee.
He even did that on the documentary. Yeah. He knocks on the door. Here you go. Here's your tea. I thought, you are kidding me, aren't you? And then the other thing he done was trying to get the European Super League over the line, and he failed at that as well. So this guy is a waste of space. But for me, you're right. I think Arteta's done more than his job this season. He's overachieved, in my opinion. Kroenke, he's like he spent what's going to be near to $500 million in the last few seasons that Arteta's been in charge. Edu, go and get this guy. Don't let us down. I understand you let us down with Mudryk, and that a lot of people will say it wasn't Edu's problem and that he wanted to go to Chelsea and Chelsea just outbid us.
Again, Dan, that's a complete load of rubbish, yeah?
Well, there you go.
Because David Ornstein came out and said publicly they want 100 million for him. Privately, they'll take less. Right? Well, why didn't we pay the money then? Yeah, privately, why didn't we do the deal with them? We were tracking that player since July last year. So when people want to talk about Chelsea came in and messed up the deal, no, Edu messed the deal up because we could have got the geezer for 45 million in the summer. And then we spent 2 weeks of this transfer window still not getting the deal done, when if we really wanted him that badly, we would have had it done and the yellow ticker tape sliding across Sky Sports on the 1st of January. Ticker tape, bush, job done. We've signed Mudryk. Instead, we allowed Chelsea to come in, yeah, which then allowed Shakhtar to then say, well, actually, we can get full asking price here. And then we pulled out of that deal for the sake of 5 million. They bought him for 100. We bought him a bid 95. Right? And people are saying he chose Chelsea for money. No, he chose Chelsea because we never had a bid accepted. We never had a bid accepted. The only club who did was Chelsea. Then people were trying to dismiss that one to cover Edu's backside by saying he's going there for 200 grand a week. We only offered him 35. Again, another load of rubbish. Because we offered him 127 grand a week. Chelsea are paying him, I think, 140. So, come on, let's get real here. The two signings we made in the summer, Jesus and Zinchenko, do you think Edu had any hand in that? That was Arteta. That weren't Edu doing them deals. That was Arteta. They only signed for Arsenal because Arteta was the manager. Fact. Thomas Partey, he activated his release clause. Well, I could have done that, Dan. And he went all summer and did it on deadline day, and it was Don Edu. Yeah, now look at the big money value deals, yeah, that he has nosed up. Vlahovic, cocked that up after spending all January looking at him last January. Yeah, Rafinha, people say, oh, but he wanted to go to Barca. Well, I'm quite sure if we offered him an extra 50 grand a week and gave Leeds an extra 5 mil, he would have signed for Arsenal. Yeah, because he ain't getting a game at Barca, and he's stinking it out when he does. Yeah, then we look at Mudryk. Well, we wanted him for 7 months. We didn't bid the right amount of money for him in the first place. And we could have got him for half price in the summer, but thought 45 mil was too much. But then we're going in with 80 mils and 60 mils and 70. What? Yeah, the guy is clueless, man. He's clueless at times, Dan. He really is. Yeah. And listen, I like the fact that we've signed Trossard. I like the fact that we've signed this Polish lad as well. Not that I know a great deal about him, but I can tell you he's better than Rob Holding. And that's without even watching him ever play football.
Facts, mate.
Right?
Facts.
So them two signings, fantastic, cool, great. Well happy with them. Yeah. But if we want a player that is going to help this football club potentially win its first title in 19 seasons, why are we sitting there piss-assing about over about 10 million quid? Because there's reports saying they'll take 80. We'll bid 80 then. And if they say no to 80, go 85. If they say no to that, go and get someone else. Yeah, but the problem is, again, his incompetence, Dan, has put us in this position, because when we're going and doing that Mudryk deal, every club on the planet knows we can go up to 100 million euro, which is about 85 million quid. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, it was his incompetence.
I think that's the thing that frustrates me the most. It's nothing to do with the fact we ain't spending money. It's nothing to do with the fact that Mikel Arteta ain't good enough. I can't look and point fingers at that at all. I could before, I can't anymore. I can point the fingers at this brother and say, listen, Edu, what's going on? Because the last time I heard, we did dealings with Brighton and they wanted 50 million and we offered 30 for Ben White. Then they wanted 50 million and we offered 35. Then they rejected it and said, we want 50, mate. And he went, okay, we give you 40. No, we want 50. All right, we give you 45. I'm surprised we got him. I'm surprised they didn't go, do you know what? Just don't bother. You're not listening to me, mate. So we got Ben White for 50 million. We're starting to do the same thing. They've come out and said, we want 85 million for Moses Casado, 80 million, whatever it be. And we went in with 60. That's so frustrating.
Why are we the only club that do this, by the way? And we've been doing this for 15, 20 years. If Chelsea want a player, yeah, they went in with, and I know this is, I'm going to use this as an example to go against what I'm saying. 120 million for Enzo Fernandez. They bid 85, even though his release clause is 120. Yeah, but they done that because they thought the player had pushed his way out, which he didn't. So now they've gone back in with 120, not 90, not 95. When they wanted Felix, bang, we'll pay the money for Felix. That's another one Edu cocked up, by the way. Yeah, because Felix walks straight in our starting 11. Yeah, he gets in over Eddie. As well as Eddie's done in the last couple of weeks, he gets in 12 million quid. He gets straight in. Yeah, and then if you look at all the other signings Chelsea have made under that ownership, bang, they paid the money. Man United, bang, they paid the money. 100 million for Anthony, cool, we'll pay it. Didn't see them going in with 60 mil, 65. They just went, right, okay, 100 mil, cool, we'll pay it. The reason this happens, Dan, is because Arsenal are not respected around Europe. They're not. Yeah, we've been haggling for years and years and years with some of these clubs. Yeah, and some of these clubs will still have board members that were same when Wenger was here haggling. Yeah, with Gazidis and that. So we're not respected enough in boardrooms around Europe, because we try and, like, somebody put a great chat in my last stream. If you go and buy a pair of Nike trainers, Nike Air Max, and they're 120 quid, but you want them that badly and you think that that's going to elevate your confidence, for example, yeah, and the way you look, do you think they're worth 120 quid? They're not, are they? Because they've probably been manufactured for about 20 quid. But if you want them that badly and you need them that badly in your life, you're going to pay it, isn't you? Which is why Nike sell out every single time there's a brand new pair. Great point. Like, come on. If you go and buy a house, Dan, yeah, and the house is up for 250 grand, do you think the house is worth 250? Yeah, you could go and build your own house for a quarter of that and buy the land for a quarter of that, so you've saved half the money. Yeah, but if you want it and you need it, you're going to pay it. And that is the same with anything in life. A car, a dressing gown, a bottle of water, a microphone, a Mac. Yeah, we need that player or a player of that ability in our team, because one, that pushes us closer to the title, especially now Cancelo's gone to Bayern Munich, because they've just got weaker. We should now be pulling out the stops to sign him so we can get better and stronger. And two, if Granit Xhaka or Thomas Partey get injured, we have got nothing in reserve. Yeah, that alone is incompetence. Let us go into the last day. And if we don't sign it, that player or a player that's at that level, not Douglas Luiz, I don't want him here. Yeah, somebody of Caicedo level. If we don't sign him by 11 o'clock tomorrow night, again, incompetence. Yeah, because he's left us short in midfield again, which he did in the summer.
Yeah, I hear that. I think you're talking facts. I'm going to come back to Arsenal in a minute. I'm going to move on quickly with you for Chelsea, Lee. Amira says, are you guys scared of Chelsea if they get Enzo? Let's just talk about Chelsea in general, mate, because they're going mad. I mean, Mudryk, we've spoken about. Enzo Fernandez, we're hearing now, 120 million. That doesn't even touch the surface for what they're spending on 5 or 6 of the others this window, and of course in the last window, and they're going to continue to do it when we move towards the summer. Do you think Chelsea are basically going to be spending their way back to the top, Lee?
Possibly. It's funny because I did a show with Goonie the other day, and I said, let's have a look at Roman Abramovich's first 11 signings. His first 11 signings totaled 120 million quid, and in them 11 signings was Joe Cole, Makaleli, I think Crespo was one of the first. And these players were going for 6 million. They got Joe Cole. How much is Joe Cole in this market? It'd be about 106 million. Yeah, Makaleli they got for 16 million. Now it's 120 for Enzo. So Chelsea are not doing anything they weren't doing for the last 20 years. The difference is the prices have inflated 5, 6, 7 times. You know, the players that Chelsea bought in the first season or the first window of Abramovich was 120 million quid. And if you go through the names, Dan, it's mad. Yeah, then Jose got Drogba for 26 million. You can't get a Drogba for 26 million now.
One of their best ever, wasn't he?
So they are spending, but it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. The only thing is people are sitting there and saying, oh, FFP. I don't think a lot of people know how football works, Dan. Football finance works. That club is debt-free. Roman left them debt-free. They can spend whatever they want in the next 3 seasons, as long as their income marries up with what their spend has been. Yeah, and they've spent, $500 million, 600 million, whatever it may be. You're telling me Chelsea ain't getting that much income in the next 3 years? Because their income is bigger than Arsenal's. Yeah, I think they're already making $500 million a year. So there's 1.5 they're getting into the club. Then they've got to pay the staff and all of that. I get that, the wage bill and all of that. You've got to factor in the maintenance fees for the stadium, for the training grounds, etc., etc. Damn, their books are going to be fine. I don't see why everyone's sitting there going, oh, but Chelsea, we can't compete. And then when Arsenal do go and bid 80 million quid for a player, we shouldn't be spending that much. What do these people want, Dan? It makes no sense to me what these guys want. Because you have a go at Chelsea for doing it and then say we can't compete. But then when we try to do that, oh, no, we shouldn't be spending that. Well, what do you want then? I want to win a league. I don't know what these people want. I want to win a league. And I think Caicedo wins us that. Chelsea have gone out there and bought Nkunku, top player. They bought Enzo Fernandez, top player. Yeah, they've got João Felix, top player. Yeah, they bought Mudryk. I don't really know enough about him. But the way our fans bigged him up, it was the second coming of, I don't know, Ronaldinho. The Ukrainian Neymar, he was called, wasn't he? Ukrainian Neymar. Yeah, but they've gone out there and they've bought some very, very good players. Badiashile, decent looking signing so far. Yeah, and they're all young players as well. They've got a manager that plays good football. They've got the spending power. And they're going to get, I think Conor Gallagher's linked to Everton for 40 million today, or 45 million. They're going to get rid of Kai Havertz. They're going to get rid of some of the other players in that squad, Ziyech and that, Pulisic. They'll probably get rid of Hudson-Odoi in the summer. So when people are sitting there saying they've done 600 mil, I guarantee they get nearly half of that back in sales in the summer. So now it's only 300 mil. Then they've got to balance the books over 3 years. Mate, people need to seriously understand how football finance works. Then when you're paying it over a 5-year period, but it's because it's all been done in one window. It looks mad. They'll be fine, Chelsea. They'll have the rest of this season as a write-off, and they'll go next season. Couple more summer signings. They'll get out the door what Potter wants out the door, and then they'll be up there. Yeah, whether they win it or not, I don't know, but they'll be back. Yeah, it's Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, they will be back, in my opinion. They've got the money, and they will just keep spending. And they're playing, in my opinion, paying money, which is crazy, but it will get them trophies, which is what they've won for the last 15 years. So I've got no doubt that Chelsea will be back, however much it costs them. I don't think they care. Lee, let's just touch on Arsenal quick. I want to talk about 2 loan players quickly before we do come into the last bit. Charlie Patino and Florian Balogun, mate, are absolutely killing it on loan. And I understand that it's only Rems in League One and it's only Blackpool. But from what I'm hearing some very, very good things. What do you see as the future for these 2 kids? Do you think it will be at Arsenal, or do you think they'll both have to get a move away if it's going the route we think it is?
Move away, if I'm honest. Yeah, move away, Dan, if I'm honest. Like, look, at the end of the day, Balogun equalised against PSG last night, and everyone's got giddy. Yeah, Balogun's a decent player. But is he going to get in the first 11? No. Is he going to be able to come off the bench? Probably not. Like, I think in the summer we will be looking at a new striker. I do think that, and it ain't going to be Balogun coming back. Yeah, depending on what Eddie does for the rest of the season, determines whether he's here next season or not. And I think that same with Charlie Patino. Like, everyone got extremely excited because he came off the bench and scored in his debut. Great, cool. Yeah, and they're both smashing it this season. Fair play to him. But damn, you can't have passengers. And I'm not saying they're both going to be passengers, but I would rather tried and tested, ready-made players when we're trying to challenge for a title than Charlie Patino coming off the bench. Yeah, up against proven Premier League players and try and, you know, like it's easier to do it against in a Blackpool team lower down the table when there's no expectation to win anything. Yeah, I've got expectations to win titles and trophies. So, you know, it's for me, I think that we've got to be looking at a striker. Balogun will probably get a few quid for him. Same with Charlie Patino. Yeah, we might see him in. Well, we're going to be in the Champions League. Dan.
Is that me or is that him? No, we've lost you, Lee. The way I see it is this with Balogun and Patino. They could be part of something. They could be. I think they could be part of something next season. The difference is Balogun for me. I just feel like if he does come to Arsenal and he's behind Eddie and Jesus, what opportunity is he going to get other than League Cup football? It might be that he needs another loan in England, in the Premier League, maybe a Palace, maybe a Brighton, maybe a Championship club that's come up, maybe a Burnley of next season if they're in the Premier League, something like that. And Charlie Patino, for me, I think Charlie Patino needs to get first team football in the Premier League as well. The thing with Charlie Patino is he needs to bulk up a little bit. I think Charlie Patino needs to bulk up. But the pair of them, to be fair, I think have good futures. Whether it's going to be at Arsenal or not, I'm not so sure. Lee, we lost you. You're back, bro.
I don't know what happened there. It kicked me out and said something went wrong. maybe Edu's hacked it. Part of the Matrix. The Matrix has got me. But yeah, listen, Patino and Balogun are very good players. And me personally, I wanted to see Balogun stay anyway. Yeah, because I think he's better than Eddie. Yeah, but we made that decision. And as much as I'd like to see Balogun come back, Dan, I want to win a title. Is Balogun going to win me a title? Probably not. We're going to be in the Champions League next season. We're going to be up against Bayern Munich, Barcelona's, teams like that. Do you want to see him playing against them? Do you want to see Charlie Patino in midfield against them? Because our midfield is so light, Dan.
Can I just stop you for a minute, Lee? Can I just stop you for a minute? Breaking news: Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have approached Chelsea for Jorginho. It is an option.
What?
It is an option. It is an option in case the Caicedo deal does not go through, with Brighton reluctant to sell. Chelsea are open to selling Jorginho. Yeah, I bet they are.
Of course they are.
But we'll ask for an important fee to let him leave 6 months before the end of his contract.
An important fee? Yeah, watch us pay 10 million quid for Jorginho.
What is this obsession with Jorginho,
for Felix? Man? You watch. We'll probably pay 8 to 10 million quid for him, right? And then give him 150 grand a week or 100 grand a week. And we didn't want to spend 12 on feet. No, I'm done. No, Dan, if that happens, sack him. Yeah, real talk. You are now deciding as the sporting director, technical director, whatever it may be, that you've wasted 2 weeks on Mudryk that went to Chelsea. You have now wasted nearly 2 weeks on Caicedo, and your backup option to Caicedo is Jorginho. Nah, bin him. If we do not sign Caicedo, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, or Onana from Everton, sack him. And that's not being reactionary, Dan. I've been saying this all January. I've said if we do not get in an adequate player in midfield, sack him. Yeah, Jorginho.
A lot of people in the chat agree and saying sack Edu if he can't get Casado, get the fraud out. Listen,
but then what will happen, Dan? Sorry to cut you off. What will happen is, right, the fan base will spin it. Oh, but we're not just going to go and waste money on players that we can't get right now. Well, that's how we got in this mess with Wenger. The same Wenger this lot kept for 10 years too long by saying, look at what he done for the club, by the way. Right? In, out, shake it all about. And then it'll be, but we can go for Rice in the summer. I don't care about the summer. I care about the rest of this season. Yeah, Jorginho, sorry, mate. No. No.
I've never rated him. I've never liked him. I've never understood the obsession. For whatever reason,
Wow.
Mikel Arteta likes him. He wanted him last summer, was it? And now it looks like we want him again. I'll be absolutely gutted if this happens. Not because we've signed a player, because we've signed a player that is definitely a downgrade from Caicedo. That isn't actually going to do much if he comes in that El Neni can't do, in my opinion. And maybe that's harsh on Jorginho, but I don't really see much of a difference there. And if I'm honest with you, I think Jorginho sits there and passes the ball just like El Neni sits there and passes the ball. I don't really get it, mate, and I'll be very, very frustrated. And like you, I will be asking Edu what the hell went wrong. £85 million gets you Casado, and they want to save that money, it seems, and they don't want to pay over the odds. I don't, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what
Now,
to think
Dan,
of this
the
one, Lee.
question that Edu needs to be asked to him, is why did you spend the first 2 weeks of this transfer window chasing after a player that you could have got for half the price in the summer, but thought that was too much? But then you decided to go back into him, for him, and then decided to pull out at the 11th hour because Chelsea bid £5 million more and paid him 13 grand a week wages more. Then you decided to turn your attention to Caicedo, and you've wasted 2 weeks of the last 2 weeks of the window chasing a player to get his agents to put out statements to get him to force his way out and try and play hardball. And then you decide, well, actually, no, we don't want to pay an extra 5-10 million for him. Because I'm telling you now, Dan, if we offered them 90 million, they're taking it. I don't give a shit if they say they ain't taking it, Dan. Brighton, we can't bully Brighton. Wow. Edu needs to go just off of that alone. We cannot bully Brighton. No disrespect, because I think they're a cracking football club, yeah?
Yeah,
right?
same.
And they are run top to bottom immaculately, yeah? But how comes we cannot bully Brighton? We are the Arsenal, Dan. We are top of the table, and we cannot go and slap 90 mil on the table or 80 mil on the table. Now our backup option is Jorginho. Wow.
It's mad. I would rather not bother. If I'm honest with you, I'd rather not bother.
Do you remember on the transfer window deadline day in the summer, we bid 22 million for Douglas Luiz. Then we went back with 24. Then we went in with 24.2. Then we went in with 24.6. And then it was, oh, well, we're not, and our fans were like, we're not just going to go, because Edu and Arteta have said this, we're not just going to go and spend money on players, yeah, and get us in trouble and blah. So that's the narrative again, right? So now we will be left short because of Edu's incompetence. I'm sorry, that's what it comes down to.
This is a panic. This is a panic buy.
This is a cheap and cheerful deal to get us to the summer, yeah, and then go and get a Declan Rice or even a Caicedo in the summer. Yeah, sorry. Nah, not good enough, mate. We have needed a player of adequate ability to come in for Partey and Xhaka, and they pissed around on deadline day in the summer for Douglas Luiz, when, by the way, we had more money than the 24.2 or whatever it was we were bidding for him, and they left us light. Arteta's got to have a pat on the back for getting us to the top of the table when he's only had Partey and Xhaka all season, right? And then Nenny come in for a couple of games, right? But now we're doing it again, Dan. Let's go and bid twice for Caicedo, and then when they say no, 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 we walk away and go and get Jorginho.
Nah, and do you know what's even more worrying is, why would this news break if it weren't going to happen? Because what makes me laugh is at the end it says, if the deal for Quesado's off, Brighton are going to go, we're keeping him then. They want Jorginho now. Yeah, Moses, come back. They don't want
maybe
him.
On the flip side of that, we've put that out there to say, well, we're going to get Jorginho then. So now push the player to make another statement. Maybe we're jumping the gun, Dan. We don't know what's going on. Let's be honest. But it could be that way round. It could be, right, well, we're going to get Jorginho then. Yeah, and now Brighton are thinking, shit, we could have had 70 mil there. Yeah, but they might not come back with that 70 mil. But then they'll probably think, well, maybe Chelsea are coming with 70 mil in the summer or 80 mil in the summer. I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, this we've got a clear plan. That's all I kept hearing. We've got a clear plan. Well, what's the clear plan then? Because 3 of our main targets of all, well, 2 have ended up at Chelsea and 1 we're being bullied by Brighton. It's actually mad. Yeah. You watch us pay about 8 to 10 million for this Jorginho when we didn't want to pay 12 million for Felix for 6 months. And then we strapped Jorginho up to a 2-year deal. Yeah, on 100 grand a week, and it'll work out more than having Felix, who walks straight in the starting 11. Unbelievable, mate.
I tell you this now. If this happens, if we end up getting, if someone's just made me laugh in the comment, where is it? Breaking news: Vini spotted making Jorginho coffee.
Italian coffee, of course.
Of course. Listen, if we get him, it is an absolute joke of the end of a window. And I'll tell you why. He, for me, is better than Lokonga, but he is on the same level as El Neni. Because El Neni is a player who does a job. And that's exactly what Jorginho will do,
I
a
actually
job.
think he's
I don't
worse
want
than
a
El
player who
Neni,
does
and
a
that
job.
ain't even taking the piss.
Listen,
I
you
think
might
he's
be right.
worse than,
You might
because
actually be right.
at least El Neni's mobile. Jorginho, ain't? Jorginho's got the turning circle of a ship. Yeah, that comment in your chat is bang on as well. Yeah, absolutely bang on. Where is it? About David Ornstein from Elfie I. Yeah, Ornstein is already briefed by Edu. Look how they safe landed from the Mudryk deal. Arsenal will not enter into a bidding war. Arsenal entered into a bidding war, right? And that's spot on, that comment. Arsenal entered into a bidding war with themselves over Mudryk. But then the way it's spun by the PR machine that is Arsenal Football Club was they won't enter into a bidding war. Really? Well, we've just entered into another one and we've lost this one as well. We entered into a bidding war with ourselves for a player. Now we've gone, we'll accept defeat for the sake of what, 10, 15 million? Go and buy the player we want. We have a better chance to win the league. Do you seriously think Man City are sitting there right now, seeing that news break, going, boy, well, that's Arsenal clinching the title? They would if it was Caicedo.
I said that I wanted to see ambition, and Caicedo would show me ambition. Do you know what's even more annoying is that my Sky Sports app has just flashed saying Arsenal make world record bid for, and it's Man United's Russo as the women.
They're trolling. That's taking the mic.
Oh, mate, that really is. I'm a bit deflated, Lee. I'm a bit flattened. Mate. I don't know what to say.
Should we expect anything less? Dan, we've been in positions before over the last 16 years or so since we've moved to the Emirates where we've been in a title race. Yeah, 2016 was the last time we were in a title race. And on the 1st of May that year, 2017, 16-17, Leicester had clinched the title. And I was outside and inside the Emirates holding up a time for change banner. Because Leicester had just beaten us to a title. That summer of 16, well, only Petr Cech was available. We signed nobody in January and finished second to Leicester. The other seasons previous to that, 2014, we collapsed after 25 games. Why? Because we didn't do what was adequate enough to kick on for the season. 2007, 2008, Eduardo broke his leg. 2008, Eduardo broke his leg. 8-9 maybe. One of them seasons. Broke his leg. We could have won the league that season. We didn't do what was required.
I really hope this is a smokescreen, bro.
It might just be Arsenal playing games saying, listen, we've bid 70 mil. Yeah, we're going to get Jorginho then, mate. And maybe this is to tempt the player and his agents because he's changed agents. So maybe it's again to tempt him to say this is a disgrace and go full Mudryk and twerk on Insta. But you watch. I guarantee if we do not get Caicedo, he don't end up at Arsenal. I'll be shocked if he ends up at Arsenal in the summer because Chelsea are coming with him. Yeah, like it's mad.
I'd rather go get. I know it's a different position. I'd rather just go and get Tielemans, or I'd rather go and get Ruben Neves, like from Wolves. I just don't understand why we're going for this dude. Like this guy he's just been declining as a footballer in the last 2 seasons, and we believe
why
we
not
can
go
come
and
do
get
a
the
job.
guy that Brighton are looking at Leipzig, Amadou Hadaro, who's got 6 months left, who is going to be their backup or their replacement for Caicedo. They put a bid in for him the other day, Dan, which means they're open to selling Caicedo. Because why are they bidding for a player in the same position? So it's now down to money. They put a verbal offer in, then they put an official bid in for him. So if they're looking at a replacement for Caicedo already, then it's only about money then, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, this is a great one from Adam. We're linked with Onana, Casado, and Rice, and then we could end up with Jorginho, which is basically what you said. Wow. I'm stunned. I'm shocked. I hope it's a smokescreen. I hope it's not happening because this would not excite, I don't believe, any Arsenal fan. I understand he's a defensive midfielder. I understand he's covered for Thomas Partey, but so's El Neni. I don't think it's a problem with the quantity that Arsenal have got. It's the quality. And if you're going to add somebody like Jorginho, who's not going to add any, in my opinion, top quality, then no, it is not for me. I'd rather get Kante than Jorginho. Real talk. I honestly can't believe it. I can't believe it. It is. Oh, someone's just put that in the chat as well. They must have read my mind. I can't believe it, Lee. I'll be so pissed off if this happens. And I understand that it's a lot of money for Caicedo. We don't want a bidding war. All those things you can have debates about if you want. Listen, this Quesado deal should have happened 2 days ago when he come out on social media and said he wants to go, and they said we'll earn ridiculous money. We should have gone, here you go then. There's 82 million, there's 85 million. Go and get it done, Arsenal. And we're sitting now going, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it's too much. We'll go and get Jorginho. Sorry, mate. That's a disgrace if that's true.
Mate, it's mad. And again, it goes back to Edu with high value deals. Vlahovic didn't get him. Rafinha didn't get him. Mudryk didn't get him. Caicedo didn't get him. What is this guy good at? We're activating release clauses, signing Brazilian speakers, and getting Arteta to tap up a couple of Man City ex-players or players that were at Man City. And people tell me this guy's done a fantastic job. Sorry, mate, he's out of his depth. Who was the guy that came out when Edu got the job at Arsenal and said, "Oh, he's going to be Arsenal's technical director. Good luck with that." Who was the guy? What was his name? He was so high up in Brazilian football or something. The guy said, "Oh, he's gone to Arsenal." Oh yeah, well, I wish him the best of luck.
Oh dear. That's not good. I've heard some bad things from Edu. I've heard some bad things about him. I'm not going to lie. I've heard some good things from some of the others. I've heard great things about Richard Garlick. Obviously, Arteta, we know, was bigged up massively.
Can I just, sorry to cut you off. This guy said, missed out the ones we did get, though, Lee. Funny, that don't fit your agenda. Mate, we got Ben White and we paid 50 million quid for him. No other club on the planet bid 50 million quid or anywhere near. Nobody even bid for him. So 50 million, they were probably sitting going, yo, Edu's just bid 50 for Ben White. Yeah, Odegaard, nobody wanted him. The only club that was in for him was Arsenal. What else am I missing here? Yeah, Trossard, nobody wanted him. 20 million, good signing. All of these are done all right, by the way. Yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes, nobody wanted him. I forgot the Lissandro Martinez deal, by the way, because he was apparently coming to Arsenal and then we let him go to Man United. Like, so what players you on about? Aaron Ramsdale, nobody was bidding 27 million quid for Aaron Ramsdale. Nobody even wanted him. So, sorry, what has Edu done? That's
Listen,
so
he's got whether you like, he's got some right. It might not be him. We've got, as a club, have got some right. We've also got some wrong. I'm sorry, we have.
How is he always absolved from any blame at this football club? It's mad.
Yeah, it's weird. We've got some wrong, man. Ruddison, wrong. Tavares, wrong. Lokonga, wrong.
Fabio Vieira's
Mari,
wrong at the
Pablo
moment.
Mari,
he can't get a game, and when he does, he stinks the place out.
Yeah,
we've
Cedric,
got Cedric,
wrong.
Pablo
Willian,
Mari,
David Luiz, Pablo Mari. There's enough that we've got wrong, man. So we can't sit there and say that he's got everything right. I don't think we're being harsh. I think we're questioning what has gone wrong. Yes, we went all out for Vlahovic, didn't happen. Mudryk didn't happen. Now we've gone out. Look, if we go for Declan Rice in the summer, it might not happen. We might not get that done as well because West Ham ain't going to say yes to 70 million. They're going to want 170 million. So let's just be realistic for a second. I'll be so peeved off if we don't get this Caicedo deal. He has come out and said, I fancy a title chase at Arsenal. I would not be going to training. The Zerbi's come out and said we have to try and move on without him. What's the problem? What is the fucking issue here now? Why are we stalling on this? I hope this is a smokescreen, and I'm not going to lose my head until the window shuts. But if I tell you this now, Lee, if this shuts and we've either nobody or Jorginho and Partey gets injured, on their heads be it, mate. On their heads be it.
And again, it comes back to what we said at the start. This is not on the Cronkies or Arteta. Josh Kroenke is not sitting there phoning up these football clubs, negotiating deals. That is Edu's job. That's his job. Yeah, Arteta's not putting the phone call into Brighton. That's not his job. Arteta's got us to the top of the table, 5 points clear with a game in hand. The Cronkies have put 400 million quid on the table for players, which has helped. And yes, Edu has had a hand in that of getting us to the top of the table. But then again, when we just listed out all the players that Edu has also had a hand in, people like to forget them ones, didn't they? Yeah, we can list more players that he's signed that have done nothing than the ones he's signed that are doing something. So, sorry, it's on Edu. His job is sporting director, technical director, whatever. It's his job to get the players into that football club. Yeah, and sorry, the ones that we've wanted to go and get that are high value deals, he has failed at every single one of them.
If lastly, if we do get Caicedo,
you sound so defeated.
Mate, it's mad. It's really annoyed me. This club will do this to me, man. If we do get Casado, what rating do you give it? If we don't get Casado, what rating do you give it, Lee?
If we get Caicedo, and that is the only other signing we sign with Trossard and Kivior, I'd give that an 8 because I still think we need a striker, Dan. But if we don't get Caicedo, and then we've missed the striker, well, straight away it drops down to probably a 5. About a 5. But Dan, this should have all been done in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have signed a winger and a defender in the summer. Yeah, we should have been signing a DM in the summer. Should have all been summer window, and we could have all been sat there top of the league. Don't worry about January. We're sweet, mate. Maybe just go and get a striker. Instead, we're sitting there thinking, oh my God, hang on a minute. We still might need a striker, and we definitely need a DM. If Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey both get injured or straight red cards in any games where they both miss games together, we're finished. Because what's coming in for them? Sambi Lokonga and Fabio Vieira. Not good enough.
Bro, it's really not. It's really
not,
man.
Signs it's a 2.
Love that. Okay, listen, I'm going to finish it there, man. I feel a bit deflated and I hope it ain't true. I really was excited about this Caicedo link and I do believe the player wants to come. The last thing I'll say, and I'd like to get your quick opinion on this, is he right for the club then, Jorginho? Is he the player that needs to get on the ship? Has he got the right mentality? Is he the player that's going to maximise this window and make things better? Is he the player that we've been looking at all this time to get? Because apparently they're the only players we're going for, are players that need to come in. We ain't going to go and just panic buy and bring anybody in. We're going to get players that come and make us better. So why are we looking with this guy on the last day of the window then, just like it was with Douglas Luiz?
We're going to go and sign players that want to play for Arsenal. Does Jorginho seriously want to play for Arsenal? He just don't want to play for Chelsea anymore. That's it. He don't want to play for Chelsea. He don't want to play for Arsenal. He ain't sitting there going, oh my God, yes, get me an Arsenal move. And then Arsenal have come in, oh my God, it's happening. He couldn't care less. He's earned his millions. He's won his trophies.
We learned, Lee, as well. Ain't we learned from Gallas and Willian and Luiz and bloody Czech and Benayoun, all these players we bought from Chelsea. What is going on? What is our obsession with Chelsea players that get to 30 and we go, go on then, you can come to us now? Don't get it. Surely we've learned from that, have we not?
Obviously not. Obviously not. It's mad, isn't it? It is actually mad because.
Oh, sorry. People can sit there and say I'm losing my head and I'm negative if I want.
So we should.
It wouldn't surprise.
Dan, we're looking 1 minute at Caicedo, the next minute Jorginho. I'm sorry if anyone's happy with that, and if that is true, yeah. If anyone's happy with that, I'm sorry. You need your head testing. Yeah, whatever Edu's got in that cigar has mashed his head up.
I'm with you, mate. Listen, we're going to end the stream. Absolute pleasure having you on, my friend. And I hope this news is not true, but it does look like Romano is saying that we are interested in Jorginho if the Caicedo deals off. Can't believe that bit at the end. Well, of course it is. Otherwise, what are we going in for him for? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I hope it's wrong. But do me a favor, guys. Make sure you smash the like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're new. We're over 7K now, which is amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It's only been 7 months. To hit 7K is amazing. So thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. And Lee, I appreciate you, of course. Make sure you go over and do exactly the same thing to Lee. His channel is in the title. All you got to do is go and click on Lee Gunner and then just hit the subs and join his community as well. Big up yourself, Lee. What you got coming up, bruv?
Going live 3 minutes ago with
Oh, there you
Henry
go.
Wright. That's all right. I'm late for everything. I was late for this.
So was I.
Yeah, I'm going live with Henry Wright in a minute. They're just as bad in this window. They can't
Oh,
even
they're
get
a
a deal
circus,
done.
mate.
Oh yeah, they're ridiculous. They can't even get a deal done for a player that wants to join them as well.
Can't even get Pedro Porno over the line, mate.
Mad, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going live with him. Then I'm going to record. I'm so glad I didn't record. I was going to record 2 videos earlier, and I thought, let me just wait until after I've done that show with Henry and record, because there could be changes. I am so glad I waited, because that Jorginho video is dropping at about 11, half 11 tonight UK time. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll have another one out at 8 a.m. and then 1 p.m. I'll be back on my channel. Then I'm on with Terry at R3. Then I'm back with Rants at 5. And then I'll be back again about 10 o'clock live stream tomorrow for the last 2 hours of the window.
Wicked, mate. Make
Well,
sure
9
you
o'clock until the last 2 windows. So yeah, loads. You're getting flooded on YouTube with League Gunner content, which will please all of my haters.
Absolutely, it won't please the people. It will definitely please the people from this channel though, because they all love your content. So make sure you get over to Lee Gunham. Just go over there now and laugh at Spurs and Henry, who's going to be ranting and raving because it's always
the only
funny.
club we can laugh at.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to give it to us now about the Jorginho thing. But there we go, guys. We're out of here. Hit a like on the way out. Subscribe if you're new. Do the same thing on Lee Gunner's channel. Make sure you see Lee over there on his channel now. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow night for the transfer window. Take it easy, people.
Edu out.